Hey guys, welcome to another episode of WoW Weekly with Myst. And there is quite a bit of stuff going on this week. And I also accomplished, our goals. So first, let's get into what's going on this week. So we have the rep buff that is still going on and will continue to be in effect until May 18th. So definitely, if you need rep, it's a great time to do it. It's 100% extra. The experience buff, which has been extended, that is still going on, and we don't even know when it's ending yet. It's ending when the Shadowlands pre-patch comes out, but we don't know when the Shadowlands pre-patch will be out. However, I imagine we will have this buff till at least July. I can't see the pre-patch showing up any sooner than July. And yeah, so those are two great ones. The experience buff also is 100%, and the leveling is crazy. One thing I have learned with using this experience buff is that if you're leveling Alliance, yay. Alliance is the faction to level with this buff. It's unfortunate because Horde kind of gets the shaft end of things, and I realized that when I went to level on one of my Horde characters, because over on Alliance, along with the 100% buff and my heirlooms and all that shit, I can also activate my war mode and get 25%. Honestly, when I first did it, our war mode perk was sitting at 35, but then it dropped a couple of weeks ago to 25. And yeah, and I've been leveling crazy fucking levels ever since. Unfortunately, over on Horde, it's 10%, which it puts you in the position where you actually ponder if it's worth it, because 10% is good, but you do risk getting killed while you're trying to level as fast as you can before this buff ends, right? And I feel like that risk is more worth it on Alliance side with the 25 to 35% buff, whereas on Horde side, a couple of 120s killing your level 20 and you're just gonna remove it. It's just not gonna be worth it, right? So I haven't even been using the war mode over on Horde, but I have been using it on Alliance. And yeah. And that's a prime example why I think that it just needs to be even, on both sides. I get why they do it. It's obviously to give incentive to the Alliance players to use war mode, but it's still unfortunate that the Horde lose out just because the Alliance don't use war mode as often. It is unfortunate, and I imagine some Horde players are probably a little ticked about that during this experience buff, but nonetheless, the Alliance has it, so yeah, there's that. On April 28th, which is tomorrow, there will be a Volunteer Guard Day. Okay, so for those that are unaware of what Volunteer Guard Day is, it's a one-day micro event. You get basically nothing, but for the day you can get something. So if you're interested in doing the Volunteer Guard Day, what you do is you will just salute a city guard, and that will transform you into a guard yourself for 24 hours. And then at that point, you can kill the city invaders, and you'll get a temporary title. If you kill 10 of them, you'll get Defender of the City. like we'll say you're killing stuff in Ironforge. You'd be Defender of Ironforge. If you have 50 City Guard kills, then you'd be Heroic Defender of Ironforge. And if you have 250 kills, you would be Mythic Defender of Ironforge. And we're just using Ironforge as an example. If whatever city you're doing this in, it'll be Defender of that city. Now, one thing that I have found out over the years with this event is that if you enter a dungeon, you'll lose your buff. So this is kind of one of those things that if you want to play around with this title, don't do any dungeons that day. Just make it a non-dungeon day. And, as always, right-click removes it as well. Also, worth noting that this is a temporary title, so you're only going to have this title for that day. So definitely if you want to brag about it or whatnot, do this stuff early in the day so that you can hold on to the title for a decent amount of time on that day. And that's it for that event. It's unfortunate. I like these, one-day events that they do, but I guess I just wish there was something you could hold on to in memory of you doing these. Now, even although I'm Alliance, here is what you can be for Alliance, and I see these guards all the time, and, because I play Alliance. And I personally, I'm not totally sure yet if I'll be doing this event this year, but I kind of want to because I do happen to know that because it turns you into the guard, so you get that look. If you were to do this on Horde side for Undercity, you would actually be an abomination, which I think is awesome. I would love that. And for me, that is more unique than any of the other guards that you could be. So yeah, I think I may actually do this one on Horde side this year just to have that. So keep that in mind, that whatever the guards look like in the city that you're doing this in, that's the appearance you will get. Now for the weekly that will be available for this week, it's going to be pet battles. So great time to level up your pets. The PvP brawl will be Arathi. We will have a Dark Moon on Sunday, so there is also that can be added to your experience and rep buff. The last thing that we have going on this week is Children's Week, which I am super excited for. As you can see here, this is my achievement that I completed back in 2010. And for whatever reason, I hadn't noticed a bonus achievement in the listing for years. And the past couple of years, I've been working on it, and it's one of those things that takes 3 years. The reason for that is because the achievement is for you to have 3 pets on one single character, and you can only get one. Those pets come from the one quest that you can take per year on each character. And so that's why it takes 3 years, because your one character can only do one quest. Technically, you can have all those pets in 1 year by doing the quest on, 2 other characters, but you wouldn't get the achievement because all 3 have to be on one character. And yes, I know that achievement says 1969. I have no idea why it says that. For starters, it shouldn't have a date at all because it's an incomplete achievement. I'm going to complete it when the event starts this year by getting Egbert there. And second of all, I'm not even that old. I was not in the world in 1969. So yeah, I don't know why that is the date showing up on the website, but yeah, if you look up at your character on the website, you'll see that same year on your stuff too. It seems to be their default year that they use. So anyway, in this picture, you can see the pets that I do have. So I'm just missing the one, and this is the year that I'm finally gonna get that achievement out of the picture. And it's, like I said, I went years without realizing that achievement was added in. I don't think it was originally in the listing when I completed that other one. So, but I could be wrong. It might have been. Who knows? So there is that. So Children's Week runs from May 1st to May 7th. There is a lot of things you can get. A lot of pets are available through this event. So definitely, if you like pets, it's definitely worth it. If you like achievements, it's definitely worth it. There's only really one achievement that might take you a little bit of time, but most are good, or I mean easy. Here's a list of the achievements, so I'll go over them. Home Alone, all you do is you have your orphan out and you just use your Hearthstone. Bad Example, all you do is just sample all those things. You can buy them and you just eat the sweets while your orphan is out. Daily Chores is really easy. All you gotta do is just 5 dailies and you will have that one. Also with your orphan out. Your orphan has to be out for all these achievements. Aw, Isn't It Cute? That one is just to do the quest that you'll see, and I'll let you know where you get that and when I'm done telling you the achievements here. And yeah, once you do that quest chain, you will be able to pick a pet that you want, and that will get you this achievement. Hail to the King Baby. While your orphan is out with you, all you do is go into Utgard Pinnacle and kill the final boss, which is the king. And yeah, very easy. And I've left the School of Hard Knocks as last because that's the one that will take you a little more time. School of Hard Knocks is the more difficult one in the achievement list because you have to go into Battlegrounds to do it, and while your orphan is out, you need to capture the flag in Eye of the Storm. You'll have to assault a tower in Altrak Valley, assault a flag in Arathi Basin, and return a flag in Warsong Gulch. Honestly, the only thing that would make School of Hard Knocks a little more on the difficult side is the competition, right? You're gonna have other people wanting to be capturing those flags and all that. And yeah, competition might be a little less now though, because I guess I'm a prime example. I did this back in 2010. A lot of people probably have had this achievement for roughly that long, and so that kind of eliminates some of the people that would need it, right? And doing that achievement, of course, rewards you with a title, matron or patron, and yeah, which is the case for pretty much all these world events. There's a title for practically all of them. Now, also, if you need any help doing these quests or you don't know where to go, I did a whack load of Children's Week videos last year, and I did them for both sides. So there's the Stormwind quest, the Orgrimmar quest, Northrend, BFA. Unfortunately, I can't link all those videos at the end of this video. I will link the main ones like Stormwind and Orgrimmar, but if you are interested in the other ones, all you do is My YouTube page, I keep very organized. I am kind of OCD when it comes to like organization with my stuff. And all you gotta do is just hit playlist, go to the World of Warcraft section, and there will be a section called World Events, and it's all in there. And for those that just don't want to watch a video, I'll just quickly tell you that if you're Alliance, your quest will start up in Stormwind. It's always been the Cathedral section. And if you're Horde, it'll start up in Orgrimmar. I always recall it being the Drag. And that is it for this week's stuff. So yeah, like I said, it is a pretty packed week. And there's quite a bit of stuff to do. Now, onto my goals. Okay, so for my weekly goals, I had a goal to just level my Void Elf Hunter, and the biggest goal was to get my Valpera rep to Exalted. You actually see in this video right here that I completed that. We got to Exalted. And yeah, so I got to Exalted. I leveled Mystic Void, which is my Void Elf Hunter. And this is her current status right here. Beginning of the week, she was level 50. I got her to 58. Keep in mind that I'm still playing a lot of Animal Crossing, so like, yeah, I could easily get her a hell of a lot higher than that, but yeah. And this is actually the one that I level with War Mode on. And then over here, we have the Valpera. As you can see, barely any levels on her. I just got the rep to Exalted, and basically the day after I made the video. By the time I got the rep to Exalted, I was pretty tired, but I really wanted to just at least create the character and level it a bit, so put a few levels on her, and I'm definitely gonna get some more levels on the Valpera, so super happy to have finally accomplished that. So now that I have two levelers in the picture now, kind of being leveled at the same time, the goal is just gonna be to level some on both, and I'll just keep you guys up to date every week of where the levels are. And yeah, because I don't know what's going on. This week might actually not get much leveling done because I do want to take advantage of Volunteer Day. I want to do the stuff for my last pet for the Children's Week. However, Children's Week does start on the Friday, so that might not actually interfere in this week's just because it's near the end of the week. Yeah, I might have the next WoW Weekly done up before I even start Children's Week. Now, as far as rep goes, rep is still a goal. We have accomplished the Volden rep, but I do have other allied race reps I'm going after. And I think since Zandalari seems to be the closest, we will make that the goal. So yeah, we'll see how we can get, because I don't want to only wait for the emissaries to pop out. They are great for rep, don't get me wrong. You get 3,000 for doing the emissary, but the rep buff vanishes on the 18th. And if I only do Zandalari when it's the emissary, I'm not going to be exalted before the rep buff vanishes, right? I do still need to do Zandalari basically whenever there's stuff out there, just to speed it up. Same with Honorbound. I really need to do that with Honorbound because Honorbound's even further behind. And yeah, I've been doing all these reps together, but our main focus is Zandalari and Honorbound. Now, I don't know if I can manage to get to Exalted in 1 week time, maybe with the buff for Zandalari, because I'm not only doing emissaries, I am going to try to do quests or, world quests for rep whenever I can throughout the week for Zandalari. So the goal is Exalted, I just don't know if we'll hit it. But that is the goal. And in the meantime, oh wow, I thought I was honored with Honorbound. So Honorbound is revered as well. Okay. I didn't know where I was seeing honored. Maybe I was looking at Talaji's expedition instead. Okay, so both are kind of even. Okay, so yeah, the goal will just be to try to get as much done on both. Honorbound's easier to get rep with. It's kind of like on Alliance getting 7th Legion. There's so many other things that trigger that rep. So I'm not too worried about the Honorbound, to be honest. But yeah. So I think still the main focus will be Zandalari, and we will get Honorbound while we're working on Zandalari. And it'll be pretty easy. So those are the goals. My goal overall is to get all those reps on Horde side to Exalted. I don't think I'm going to have the ambition to get Rajani and Aldum Exalted on Horde side, but that doesn't, the buff doesn't work for those reps anyway, so it's not a big deal. But I think only my main on Alliance is going to get the Exalted for those ones. And those ones have been put on hold on the main, just because I'm taking advantage of these awesome experience and rep buffs. But once at least the rep buff is done, I'll go back to doing my dailies out there to get the rest, because they are sitting at Revered. So yeah, that is the goals. So just to quickly recap, the goals will be to level the Volpera, level maybe the Void Elf Hunter while I'm at it, and go after the Zandalari rep. Okay, so on to news. Most of this has to do with Shadowlands. Actually, all of it might have to do with Shadowlands. We'll figure it out along the way. But the first piece of news that we're going to start with is leveling in Shadowlands. We've gotten a little more info regarding the leveling system, and like I predicted multiple times in previous WoW Weekly videos, the leveling is going to be easy. It's actually sounding like the leveling will be easier than you are currently leveling with your experience buff. So yeah, keep in mind, I still suggest that if you have an active account, that you just use the buff while we have it. It's not like there's, anything else in WoW really going on. But yeah, it definitely looks like the leveling is going to be super easy. It looks like if you're an experienced leveler, you could probably level within 5 to 6 hours to your max level. And it looks like if you're not as experienced, you'd be looking at 12 to 15 hours, roughly. Now, normally I would say, this is what it looks like in alpha at the moment, and they'll probably make changes to it to make the leveling longer, but no. I think the fact that it's this fast in alpha has nothing to do with it. BFA was super fast leveling. I leveled all those alts of mine that are 120 right now, like a year ago, when there was definitely less stuff added to make the game easier. Like, BFA was easy all the way around, but, you know, leveling the alts was a little tougher a year ago, and I still got it done. It was still easy, just tougher than it is now, you know, but, and I mean now without the experience buff. I don't think they'll change this. I think it will remain to be around that speed because, to be perfectly honest, it's probably one of the biggest reasons they put the squish in, was people complaining that it took too long to level. So why would they not make the leveling faster? I do believe that is one of the biggest reasons for the squish. And they do want people in Shadowlands pretty fast. So I do believe this time frame will stay. It just all depends on your leveling style. Some people level slower and some people level fast. Now, on the topic of leveling, I'm feeling like there will be probably a nerf coming to WOD, because just, you know, sidetracking from Shadowlands and just going back to the experience buff that's currently active in BFA version right now, WOD was so OP for leveling, and I keep telling people that the minute you can get to WOD, do it, because when I got to WOD for leveling, and this is stuff available right now, I was there from level 90 to like 104 or something like that, and I didn't leave the starting area. Like, for Alliance, it starts you in Shadow Moon, and I did my quest that led up to the garrison, and then once I opened up the garrison and all that, I went and hit up the bonus objectives, and the experience was so amazing. I believe I showed you guys footage of it in last week's WoW Weekly, but it is so crazy the amount you can level. Like Legion invasions don't even hold a candle to what you can do in WoD. You know, like, the Legion invasions, yes, they do give you a lot now with the buff. They gave you a lot anyway, but with the buff, they do give you a lot, but still not as much as WoD gives you. Those bonus objectives are fucking crazy. I was getting full fucking levels off of them. So, yeah, definitely suggest that, like, you can do 90 to, like, between 100 to, say, 104 in, like, one night. Yeah. It's just so fucking crazy what you can do out there. Or if you have the time to spare, you just wait till all your bonus objectives are done and then log out and come back the next day. And yeah, it's like, that's why my lock leveled so fast. And then on top of that, I had war mode enabled, which on the Alliance characters, 25%. And yeah, it was just like, holy fuck. And I had the garrison buff as well, which gives you 20% additional XP. Okay, so another thing to add regarding the leveling process is that the pathfinder, it's been noted that you won't need the Draenor or Legion pathfinding. However, it is still listed on the alpha in the trainer section. So I'm thinking, however, this is not confirmed, because all they say is you don't need it to fly. They're not really giving you anything in between those lines, right? They're just saying you don't need it to fly. So what I'm thinking is, maybe since it's in the trainer thing still in the alpha, granted they might just not have removed it, but it is in the vendor listing as well. So what I'm thinking is you don't need to do the achievement to fly, but I think you purchase it. So I do think Pathfinder is still there, but you just purchase it. Kind of like what they did, I don't know how long some of my viewers have been playing here, but Northrend, you used to have to do stuff to get the Northrend flying too. And then one expansion or one patch came out, can't totally remember which one, and all of a sudden there was a book on the guy standing in Dalaran that you would just purchase, and then that would unlock your Northrend flying. And yeah, so I'm thinking it may be similar to that. Now, keep in mind that is just me coming up with, the way it could be. There is nothing confirming this. The only confirmed info we have is that you won't need to do the achievement for Draenor and Legion Pathfinder to get flying. That is the confirmed. But I tend to read between the lines, and I still believe that Pathfinder is gonna stay in the picture, right? So I think it's gonna be purchased. I also am like 100% positive that we will have a Pathfinder for Shadowlands. Just like the BFA. They're not removing the BFA restrictions, right? So, obviously, they are keeping Pathfinder. They're just making it easier for WOD and Legion, because really, those are the bitched about ones. If people are upset that they can't fly, it is always WOD and Legion that they complain over. And I guess I get it. I did all this stuff in current expansion, and I found BFA being so easy. I thought they were trolling us, and that, they weren't telling us extra steps, I was so surprised when I finally, I won't say finally, because it took no time at all, but when I got the flying for BFA, I was surprised. I totally thought there was a step that they weren't telling us about. So I do get the WOD and Legion, because you do have to go back to those areas. You gotta do a lot of exploring, a lot of extra stuff. And yeah, Legion was kind of rough. If I remember right, you needed Suramar stuff to even be able to start that process. And yeah, so. Now, the last piece of news I have for you guys has to do with Gamepad Support. And this one's been kind of a hot topic lately for World of Warcraft, because there's been April Fool's jokes in the past where they say they're gonna put WoW on the Xbox or the PlayStation, and some people believe it, and a lot of us, I would hope, don't believe it. But it's actually time to maybe believe something like that, because there is support in the alpha for the controller. This isn't actually the first time either. I remember watching a video back in Legion where this guy was raiding Argus, and he had his controller up, so you could tell he was playing on an actual controller. And I couldn't understand how, in the world we are, as far as WoW goes, we have a ton of abilities on our characters. So I could never understand how someone could play on a controller. I still don't understand how you can activate all those different keys. I have played a couple of MMOs that are on console, Neverwinter is on console, ESO is console, but, they're both also PC, but, they have a version on console. And honestly, how you're able to play them on console is because they have way less abilities than a World of Warcraft character. And that might be because their max level is so much lower. You know, we're sitting at a 120 right now. And maybe this is one of the reasons for the squish, right? Maybe they're squishing the level so that there's less abilities and they can, you know, potentially have it on a controller. Now, I don't know if this means it's going to console or whatnot. I would hope not. I think we've all seen how Diablo is on a console, and while it is playable on a console, you can't really compare console PC. If you've played Diablo on the computer, chances are you think it's wonky on the console. You don't have control over your targeting, you know, and yeah. I am a controller person. I like playing games with the controller, and normally something like this should hype me, but it doesn't because WoW is a PC. You know, WoW is keyboard and mouse in my mind. There's certain games that are keyboard, mouse, and WoW just is not a controller game, in my opinion. But like I said, it's not like no one's played it with a controller. I think leveling would be okay on the controller, but I don't think you'd be able to do anything really serious like raiding or mythic pluses. You know, I think all that end content, yeah, has to be keyboard and mouse. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of the whole, you know, controller thing. So that concludes this week's WoW Weekly with Myst. I do get the feeling that once I edit this video, it may be a little over our normal 30 minutes, but we'll see what happens through the edits. Biggest reason I say that is because I have a clip for you guys that we are going to roll for the end of this video. It is just a 5-minute clip, but I thought it was really cute. At Blizzard, since we're kind of all in isolation because of the thing that apparently gets people banned on YouTube for saying, so I won't name it off, but we all know what it is. But but yeah, I don't know why that gets people banned, but I'm just gonna play it safe and not name it. But because of that, Blizzard normally would have done a bring your kids to work day. And so what happened, since people are all in isolation, is Chris Metzen decided to read a kid's storybook over the YouTube channel, and I thought it was really good. I actually want to buy that book, to be honest. He starts it off by saying, you know, more or less, this is for you kids, and I guess I'm still a kid at heart because I thought it was great. But yeah, so here is the video, and that is it for this video. So I hope you enjoyed, and we will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.
Hello, young ones. My name is Chris, and today I'm going to be reading a book called Snowfight. This book was written by a super old dude and one of my very good friends, a guy named Wei Wang, who is just an amazing artist. So let's get started. Snowfight, a Warcraft tale. All right. Long ago, in the world of Azeroth, it was a cold day, a snowy day, when Varian and Thrall walked home. "I love winter time," said Varian excitedly. "I love skating and building ice forts and all the Wintervale goodies we get." "I like winter too," Thrall replied thoughtfully. "It's like all of nature takes a big, long nap until spring comes." I guess I never thought about it like that, said Varian. But right now, all I care about is snowball fights. Sounds fun to me, Thrall replied, but you never know who else is looking to pick a fight. Varian just shrugged. I'm not worried. I've got the fastest hard-packed snowball in the kingdom. Wow, he got rocked. Suddenly, a huge snowball smashed Varian right in the face. The two boys heard a cold voice holler, "Tremble at my power, I'm the master of icy awesomeness." And there, standing on a lumpy throne of ice, was the neighborhood bully, Arthas. "Go home to mommy, Varian. You'll never beat me," Arthas yelled. "Ooh, that mean old Arthas," Varian said as Thrall helped him up. "I wasn't even ready yet. I'll show him who's king around here." Thrall brushed the snow off his friend. "It was just a lucky shot," Thrall told him. "Maybe you should calm down before you make this a real fight." "You know, you're a real blockhead, Arthas," Varian said. "Whatever, Varian," Arthas snapped. "I tagged you fair and square. Only because I wasn't looking. It's no wonder no one ever wants to be friends with you." "Oh yeah?" Arthas yelled. And then with no warning, Arthas pushed him off the throne. "Okay, that's it," Varian yelled angrily. That old Arthas is really going to get it. Thrall tried to calm his friend down. "He's just being a bully," he said. "He wants you to get mad." "Well, I am," said Varian. Varian ran at the frozen throne and kicked it with all his might. "Hee-yah!" he cried. The lumpy, frosty throne toppled right over. Arthas tumbled with a yelp. "What's the matter, Arthas?" Varian teased. "Are you gonna cry now?" Varian looked down at the miserable bully. "How do you like it, huh?" he asked. "Not so tough now, are you?" Arthas just sat quietly as the wet snow dripped off his helmet. Thrall stepped in between the two boys. He was disappointed in his friend. "Who's being the bully now, Varian?" he asked. "Arthas was wrong to be mean, but you being mean right back, it just makes it worse." All of a sudden, Varian felt bad. He knew Thrall was right. He had been just as mean as Arthas. Thrall helped Arthas stand up. "You know, Arthas," Thrall said, "if you were just a little nicer, we'd be happy to play with you." "Really?" asked Arthas. "Absolutely," replied Thrall. "Right, Varian?" Arthas reached his hand out to Varian. He nervously cleared his throat and said, "I know I've been a blockhead. I guess with all my practicing to become an invincible overlord of darkness, I sometimes treat people like they're just dumb minions or something. I'll try to be nicer from now on, okay?" Arthas said with a smile. "Good enough for me," said Varian. "Well, now that we're all friends," said Varian, "what should we do with the rest of our day?" A mischievous grin crept across Thrall's face. "Well," he said shyly, "we still have a snowball fight to get back to." Thrall used his weather powers to make the wind and snow swirl all around them. "Uh-oh," said Varian, "I know what that means. Run! It's a giant snowman. Dun, dun, dun." Pretty cool. The end. Well, young ones, I hope you enjoyed Snow Fight and enjoy your time at home.